Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies from February 14th until February 21st, where over this next week, we will have Venus enter Aquarius and make an immediate conjunction to Pluto. We're going to see the Sun enter Pisces on February 18th. And then we also have the increasing influence of Chiron conjunct the North Node exactly at 16 degrees, 45 minutes of Aries. And this occurs on February 19th. Although it is a slow-moving influence, something we've already been feeling, especially since December. But over this next week, there could be something that shows you what you've been missing, what you've been seeking. There could be something that arrives for you that even reveals more of what you didn't know you needed or didn't know you had. And that's because the Chiron energy, not only can it be soft and subtle, but it keeps things hidden until your frequency is in alignment with exactly the right connection. And I know we've been discussing how the glyph for Chiron looks like a key, and it's almost like this is when the key is put into the lock. The correct key goes into the correct lock and unlocks something, opens a door, maybe a door that has been closed, a door you didn't see, you weren't even aware of it. Maybe it's been one of those cool hidden doors in the library and you didn't know you had to pull down a book and it opened into this new hidden compartment with even more to enjoy and discover. So that is an important energy signature here throughout February, but especially this week. And I'll touch on that more in today's show. So we are actually at the end of the Sun in Aquarius journey this week, but we have so many planets in Aquarius that these energies are going to continue on. And it will be interesting to see how that feels for you, where the energy of Aquarius will stay strong since at this time we have, of course, Pluto in Aquarius, Mars, Mercury, and Venus entering Aquarius that is going to keep your energetic focus on these parts of yourself, these parts of your world, this part of your natal astrology chart, wherever you have Aquarius energies. They are being deeply activated. And with the Sun here, of course, the Sun has brought alive even more that we're meant to see. And that's because the transiting Sun is essentially a spotlight. It brings in a focal point of energy, a focal point of warmth, light, consciousness, focus that only appears once every year. So as the Sun has been moving through Aquarius, it's been highlighting more of these Aquarian themes and expressions for you. And now here come the personal planets that are going to make it more active and more real, especially in your daily life. So even though the Sun will move on to Pisces, and that occurs on February 18th at 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time. So for some of you, that will be on February 19th. The Sun moves into Pisces and the energy softens. It softens into more of what you need to relax into outside of the mind. And I will discuss that energy shift later on in today's show. But I wanted to highlight that the strong Aquarius energies are meant to reprogram our frequencies to not only a faster speed, more accelerated pulsing energy, but there's also something here that we're being put in alignment with more of what we are designed to experience in this lifetime that we previously weren't ready for. And I'm feeling this as a significant recalibration that is part of these other timeline shifts that are happening, that are opening up, can be very energetically overwhelming, but are also connected to future self frequencies. Now, we know that as we ascend out of the 3D time-space continuum, we aren't in linear time. So we're adjusting to more experiences of quantum energies. We're opening up to more of what we're ready to move into and have in our lives now. And there's this very interesting energy around the mind because of the fact that Aquarius is an air sign, a fixed air sign, heavily focused on not only the future, but what can come about, what can be invented, what can be created, as well as new ways of living our lives. And I think that's one of the main themes right now. And of course, trust that for yourself if it resonates. But you're getting into alignment with a new way of living your life that maybe you didn't see before. Perhaps it's coming in quickly, it's already arrived, maybe you're getting some ongoing downloads and messages, but we're meant to advance in our daily lives in some manner. We're meant to change things up and to also allow higher cosmic intelligence to guide us. Meaning Aquarius is not only the human mind, which is actually Gemini. Aquarius is when you're able to take your own human concepts, perceptions, ideas, communications, and take it into a bigger sphere of energy. You connect it to the cosmic intelligence, more universal brilliance. You're able to expand and go higher to see something from a detached viewpoint that you wouldn't have thought of on your own. You wouldn't have come up with it. It wouldn't have felt like a natural fit. It would have felt too bizarre, too foreign, too weird. So this is where we're meant to go higher in what our minds can conceive. And it feels like such a powerful vision quest. I mean, it feels like you could really expand out. And I'm seeing the visual of a movie screen that keeps stretching into a panoramic view, where it just keeps opening up and you start to see more that you didn't notice at first. That would be one of the ways to work with this energy. Now, on February 15th, Mercury in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries and the North Node at 16 degrees. And this is the mind understanding more of what you've been healing, what you've been processing through and moving through, perhaps at a very personal level of your being. And Mercury now wants you to see it in a new way. Again, I feel that panoramic view opening up and stretching us open so that you have a new understanding of a part of your story, a personal part of your story that's contributed to your self-identity. And Mercury working with Chiron in the North Node also is going to bring in some new concepts, a new narrative, a new story here that can help you with detaching from the wound, detaching from the pain, detaching from anything that was even overly emotional or intense, because this Mercury in Aquarius wants you to be able to beautifully reconceptualize a part of yourself that I feel connects to the soul's intention. And it could be as simple as, why did my soul intend to have this experience in this lifetime, this painful experience, this hard experience? You could also relate this to trauma, to deep, painful experiences that are hard to work through. And it certainly isn't meant to make light of the human experience nor the emotional toll that certain life experiences absolutely take on us, how they change us deeply and permanently. But there's something here about being able to detach from the limited subjective experience and to go into that soul's intention. Now, there's a few books that I recommend, and I actually haven't recommended these for a while, but I have mentioned them before. So long-term listeners, you've heard of these books before. Two of them are by Robert Schwartz, Your Soul's Gift and Your Soul's Plan. Each of these books addresses why a soul would choose certain experiences. and it could bring in something that resonates or clicks for you. It could help shift what you've been holding or moving through. And so do check those out. Your Soul's Gift, Your Soul's Plan, both by Robert Schwartz. And then the other book I love to recommend, and I know many of you have already read this as well, and that is Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. Journey of Souls, case studies of life between lives, why we choose certain experiences, people, a path, what the soul's intention is. All three of these books include intuitive messages, include deeper spiritual understandings, and again, might relieve you of something, might help you with the burden of understanding why. And this would be a great energy this week to look at anything at a deeper level. I think this is also a key theme right now because looking at the fact that Chiron is going to be conjunct the North Node in Aries at 16 degrees 45 minutes exact on February 19th, and how that Aries energy is ruled by Mars, and Mars is also in Aquarius. Venus moves into Aquarius, conjunct Pluto. There are breakthroughs here. There's something you're meant to really know and love about your journey that connects it to not only the soul's intention, but that the universe sees us as these beautiful creators of energy, and any choice you make in your life can have positive outcomes, can lead to something that's good for you. It's not as if there's only one path you have to take, and that's the only way to happiness. That's the only way to feel good about yourself or think you're on the right track. You know, that would be very limited thinking to believe we only have one way of living our best life, where the universe says you have unlimited ways of living your best life because you're a powerful creator of energy. You create energy, you experience energy. And what do you want to do today that allows you to connect with that wisdom within you? And I feel like this is a week of some powerful understandings around, wow, I didn't mess up. I didn't mess up. I'm not off track. I'm not doing, quote unquote, something wrong. I'm not off my path. My path has multiple ways of showing up, and each one will support me in different ways. Each one will support you in developing different things that you could only get through those free will experiences. And if that's resonating with you, maybe allow that to really sit in your body. Allow that to calm your heart or your mind. Allow that to be something that supports you and even sets you free. Sets you free in a way that can bring about peace, comfort, even a deep exhale. Because it's interesting how I'm seeing the word expectations, and I'm seeing how the divine, your soul, doesn't have expectations of you. It just wants you to do what you're called to, where you're trusting yourself, what you're allowing or choosing wherever you're at on your journey and through your soul growth experiences. And yet we can have those preconceived expectations, or there's a part of us that can be really damn hard on ourselves. If we think we missed a turn, if we think we're off path, if we think we went one way and we should have done something else, and then we just beat ourselves up about it. And sure, there are short-term things that we go through around that. Yes, absolutely. There can be regret and mistakes and things that we wish we had done differently, but that's also how we learn. That's also how we get it. That's also how things can really click. And then the energy shifts. It's almost like as long as you're growing, as long as you're learning, as long as you're getting it and understanding how to be better today, yesterday doesn't matter. Yesterday's over. It is what it is. Be better today. And that right there shifts your frequency and changes your energy. Things lock in, and you also can rise up in your empowerment, in your knowledge, in your wisdom, and in trusting yourself. And I feel like that's a big theme here with this Chiron conjunct the North Node, setting yourself free from something in the past that maybe you thought you messed up. You should have said no instead of yes. You should have said yes instead of no, whatever the story is, whatever the experience was. This is about bringing you into the present moment as a more fully healed, evolved, self-compassionate being who can travel forth with higher levels of self-acceptance, self-love, self-compassion that you're truly owning. And these are the healed Aries energies, where you're making a commitment to be a better version of yourself today. And that's all you can do. I also feel this energy is reminding you that you're forgiven. Things are forgiven. Things are accepted. Do what you got to do. This is the energy of a new beginning point that wants you to release any self-blame, self-criticism, self-judgment that is diminishing your self-love. And so much of our lives is about forgiveness and letting go in order to move on, in order to maintain a deep connection to the present moment and to allow our individual journeys unfold as they will. So just some thoughts to sit with or reflect upon for yourself, as well as to come into connection with more self-love for wherever you need that. Now, this energy is also going to be heightened and activated as Venus enters Aquarius on February 16th and then makes an exact conjunction to Pluto that occurs in the early morning hours of February 17th. The conjunction is exact at 3:48 a.m. Eastern Time. And so we're going to have more awakenings in the heart space that are deep, intense, and again connect to the soul's intention of going higher to see a new story, or to see what you were meant to powerfully experience that can be quite personal. Now, Venus conjunct Pluto, it can be messy, but in Aquarius, there's a desire to compartmentalize it. So this could be interesting because I also feel like the hot mess express could be at capacity this week. It could be like the hot mess express has all these people wanting to make big life changes, awaken to more of their power. They don't want to take it anymore. They want to rebel against the man. You know, there's a lot going on here that is stirring up deeper energies within us. And Venus conjunct Pluto is actually bursting open something in the heart space that I feel has been locked down, or it's been, again, compartmentalized, like maybe even separated out. But part of Pluto's intention is to go into the wholeness of all the energies. So even the hot mess express is valuable and needed. And there's something about this energy that could create a quickening. Feels like a quickening in the heart space, a quickening in your self-love, a quickening in parts of your desire to create. But Pluto changes things drastically and permanently. And this is where there is a threshold that we're moving through. Now, I mentioned the threshold, especially in relation to Mars conjunct Pluto, which happened February 13th and 14th. And that related to masculine energy. Well, Venus is about feminine energies. And this is where there could be a new feminine emergence, where there is a dividing line between old feminine and new feminine expressions. This could be internally and personally. This could also be in the collective. This is groups of women being activated, being rebellious, pissed off, upset. This is where the energy of collective movement also gets louder and gets stronger. And I feel that's part of the threshold here, where the energies are moving through something very transformative and taking us into a new place within ourselves and a new place within collective feminine frequencies. There is chaos and disruption. There is a lot getting stirred up, but you could also feel at your core something has powerfully changed within you. Maybe you didn't realize you were going through a metamorphosis, and something is making it evident to you how much you're changing and how much you're shifting. And once Venus has pulled away from this exact conjunction with Pluto, she's going to have a conjunction with Mars. And that begins February 20th and lasts until about February 24th, where they travel together 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees of Aquarius, and they get on the same page with a new intention, a new beginning point. And Mars strengthens Venus. He activates her. He helps her with something that she wants to do. And then Venus provides Mars with more self-acceptance, self-love. Venus allows Mars to even settle into more of his soul wisdom that he wouldn't have felt or experienced unless he knew her, unless he met her through this conjunction. Now, this could be internally, this could be somebody that you actually are interacting with, have a connection with, you're in a relationship with. So it's not just figurative, it can be literal. But after this Venus is drastically changed through some of these deep Pluto energies, there is more that is opened up that is honest, true, and real. And that is actually something that both Aquarius energies want and Pluto wants. Like, just be real with me. Just be honest. Just be clear in your intentions. And when that is required, then things are at a whole new level, or at least then there's new ways of connecting, new conversations that can be had, etc. Pluto also brings up trust. And when Venus is conjunct Pluto, there could be questions coming up around trust and truthfulness in relationships. And it comes down to trusting yourself first. If you are trusting what you're really feeling, whether that is intuitively, emotionally, and spiritually, then you're going to have your answers and your clarity. And then it doesn't always matter who else agrees with you. Trust yourself first. And that's where you strengthen up and the energy is clearer. Then you take that level of self-trust into your connections and you can understand things better. You can see people clearer. There's things that you just have a whole new understanding around. And it's almost like it will change the people that you're around, the people that you allow into your world or into your orbit. And that can be a big part of this week, is that there are turnovers in friendships, in groups, or in people who are close to us. There's a changeover in the energies that we are embodying, which affects who we connect with and how we connect with them. And you could just have an understanding of, wow, there's not much left in this friendship. Or, why am I with all these people who don't support me? Why am I allowing them into my world and into my space? Or maybe there's some understandings around different interactions you've had and you realize they weren't good for you. They weren't honest, or they weren't truthful to who you are now. So big relationship changes are unfolding here as we move through this portal of Venus conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. And wait, we're not done with the energies of February 16th and February 17th, as Mercury in Aquarius will be squaring Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. And this is disruptive. This is unexpected communications and big announcements. This is where there could be something that comes about and you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming, but something about it makes sense. Something about it is very honest and real and is exactly what needs to happen. There can also be a lot of communications unfolding. And with all the strong Aquarius energy, one thing that occurs is that we can be unaware of how our energy is pulled outside of us. And we're so interested in what everyone else is doing, right? Scrolling through Instagram, looking at as many things as you can on Facebook, on YouTube, on the internet, going into all these other experiences that other people are having. And with the Aquarius energy, one of the lower spectrum expressions can be overly concerned with what everyone else is doing. What are the trends? What are they doing next in their life? What's going on with their family? What's going on with their business? Who do they know? Who do they hang out with? The energy gets pulled so far away from your core self that you don't even realize you're overly focused on what's happening in the external world. And so what comes up can be comparison and a disconnection from your own manifestation potentials, a disconnection from what is true for you and where to focus your energy that really matters. It's kind of like if you're the conductor of the complaint train and you're just complaining about what other people are doing and you're overly focused on what their experiences are, the complaint train isn't going to get very far if you're staring at somebody else's train tracks. And then if you're wondering, well, why aren't I doing that? Why can't I do that? I want to do that. Great. Then focus on your own train. Focus on your own track. Don't put your energy in someone else's business. Bring it back to center. Bring it back to what you can develop and manifest, and allow that to be a priority instead of thinking that complaining about somebody else's life or what they're doing and developing is different than yours. And why can't I have that? Well, your answer is right there. The answer is because you're focused on what they're doing instead of focusing in on your own energy, your own gifts, your own developments. Like, this is a huge, wide, diverse, beautiful world where everyone can manifest something. For example, if you want to write a book, you can absolutely write a book. If you want to do something really fun and adventurous, you can absolutely create that for yourself. But you dilute your energetic power when you're in comparison, if you're catty, if you're being a petty Betty or a bitter Bill, because it's not your reality yet. Bring your energy back into your reality. Own it, own your creative power, and then look at what you can manifest for your own experience. It has nothing to do with anyone else. So that is going to be an ongoing theme with these strong Aquarius energies. And we are social beings. We are designed to be social beings. So we have a curiosity. We want to know. We want information. And there can even be that unconscious hierarchy of, well, where do I fit in here? Am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Am I the best? Am I the worst? And you can subscribe to all that programming if that's what suits you. But in the new earth energies, in the age of Aquarius, we blast all of that away. None of that matters. No one else is in charge of your journey except you. No one else compares. There is no comparison. There's only what you're actively choosing and doing with your energy and how well you're knowing your energy. That's what it's about. That's where you live from. That's where your life force will come alive. And that's also where the awesome, cool new experiences are going to open up. You can magnetize them in. You can pull them in if that's your energy signature, or you can go out and get them. You can go out and create them if that's your energy signature. So what is most important is knowing your individual energy signature and to live from that without thinking that anyone else is taking away something for you. If it has your name on it, you won't miss it. Well, that's not true. You'll miss it if you are the conductor of the complaint train and you're in that overly hyper competitive comparison energy, and there's things that you're focusing on that you shouldn't be focusing on because it's none of your business anyways. It's your path that is your business. It's your path that is your calling. Own it. Own it. Own it powerfully. And then that's when things will start to come in. And that's a really exciting paradigm shift to experience. It's amazing when you start to live from that place. So that is something, again, that not only is strong right now in the collective, but is going to be an unfolding theme here, especially as each person is guided into more of their personal energetic design. And I'm saying this because I've heard from you, many of you who are undergoing this experience of feeling like you're working with the petty Bettys and the bitter Bills, and that isn't your concern. Like, then you have to get stronger, okay? You've got to get stronger in not only your self-concept and in your sense of purpose. You have to get stronger mentally, emotionally, energetically. And to be fair, that takes time. That takes time and intentional practice. But you also have to get clear on who you're living for, what your life is about, and who matters at the end of your journey. And when you are solid in that knowingness, when you're solid in that foundation, because I see it as an energetic foundation that's both below our feet, grounding us into the earth, as well as in the crown chakra, in the soul's energy that's pouring in, supporting you and guiding you. And getting into solid alignment with that can be really strengthening. And also, let's be real, people can be hurtful. People can be small, and they can do things and say things that do hurt, but you learn to shake that off, and you learn that it's not about that. You're only going to determine what is true for you. No one else gets a say in that. And this is also where you're going to see more things show up for you that are your gifts, your blessings, your abundance, because you're not allowing those rubber arrows to land And in fact, you send them back with love and consciousness to their source of origination so that those people could be gifted with an opportunity to learn as well. You don't have time for small people when you're doing big things for your own growth. And I know you are stronger at your core than maybe you give yourself credit for. And it's even a common universal theme for many light workers. Starseeds, you've been the black sheep. You've had to go your own way. You've had to take big risks on your own energy. You've had to even alienate yourself, move away from things. You've had to trust yourself at deep levels of your being that were probably painful. Trusting yourself can be painful because it doesn't feel good in the moment, or it's not what your heart would choose, or it's not what you want. But you know what is correct for your best and highest good, and that's what's guiding you. That's what's guiding you, and that is also a powerful part of this Aquarius energy. So this then is a perfect segue into the sun entering Pisces. And again, that occurs on February 18th at 11:12 p.m. That's Eastern time. And this could feel like a welcomed energy shift. The sun in Pisces is where we're meant to truly allow a flow of energy to wash through us, wash over us, where there is a need for a cleansing of what we've been holding. And you could relate this to whatever has been spinning in your mind, or perhaps tightening in the muscles and the body, anything you've been grasping onto or holding onto. This is where the sun in Pisces is an invitation to exhale and relax back into an energy of release. Every astrology sign is very different from the one before it and after it. So we've been in this intense Aquarius energy, which, as I mentioned, will continue. We're still going to be in the Aquarian themes of looking at the bigger picture, the mental focus, really understanding what is coming together, what we want to bring in and co-create with the universe. But then the next sign of Pisces is mutable water, and it's remaining adjustable to the flows of energy. It's allowing things to play out in a way where you're not trying to insert too much of your energy or too much overthinking, which is going to be hard at times, which is going to be a new dance, if you will, of moving back and forth between what you are heavily focused on and allowing yourself to detach as needed. The sun in Pisces is a feminine energy, and it's the final sign of the zodiac. And it's where we're meant to actually surrender. And the surrender is of putting too much investment in our human capabilities, meaning being overly fixated on simply this earth plane, on only the physical, on staying in the mind, or only feeling into your emotional experiences. The Pisces energy is about levitating up, releasing a heaviness in our earth experiences that allows us to surrender, to step back, to let go, and intentionally go higher. Pisces, being a sign of duality as well, is the duality between the human experience and the spiritual experience, as we basically swim between different states of consciousness. We go into the human experience that's very real, very front and center, and then Pisces invites us up into the higher realms to see that we're more than just this. We are limitless. We don't have the boundaries of the physical world when we go up higher, and we can go into these higher frequencies as needed to trust our intuition, to listen to our soul messages, to see things in a whole new way that isn't connected to the ego or to the self-identity. And so the Pisces energy is a surrender of our sense of self, and that is a struggle at times. We can really fight that. We don't want to let go of some things. We don't want to surrender our garlic bread, and we certainly don't want to put down our phones. And actually, that is a good example of how technology takes up so much of our energy, our focus, our time. and that it's essential for our mental health to step away from the screen because of how all of that fixation on the internet, social media, technology, etc., all of those are Aquarian energies that affect and even stunt our mental health. And mental health is Pisces. So there's an interesting flow of energy here where when we're able to detach from having too much time on social media, it will support our energy. It will give us more connection to our intuition, to what's happening in our lives that brings us joy, that we are in control of, that is healthy for us, that's satisfying, that's good for our well-being. And so this shift of the sun into Pisces is a good time to take stock of your overall well-being. What is supporting your energy and what is draining it? What are you seeing online, or what influences are you taking in that are negatively impacting you that maybe you didn't realize at first, but once you put it down and step away from it, you can return to something that does give you life, that does open you up and brings you more connection to your energy overall. Sort of like instead of watching somebody make something or create something, take a class yourself. Take a pottery class or do something that you enjoy so that it's part of your reality in a way that is front and center, but supports your mental health. And part of the sun in Pisces is bringing our attention to where we feel depleted, where our energy needs a break, where we're looking for more downtime to recuperate, to recover, to understand where we've been out of balance, where we've been overdoing it, and where we need to prioritize ourselves from a healthy perspective. Now, the Pisces energy is also about where we can self-sacrifice and not be aware of it. It's all the things you do for others, to take care of them, to support them, to be adaptable, to adjust to their expectations or needs. But that can be very draining when you realize you don't have more to give, and in fact, you don't have anything left for yourself. This is the perfect time to come into your core energy, to connect with a quietness within, to listen more intently, to hear what your soul is saying, and to allow those messages to be something you receive and you trust, but you also know that they're supporting you. So the sun moving into Pisces is a time to calm the nervous system, to settle into what your body needs and where you need to pour into yourself. The sun in Pisces will be rather quiet for the first few days here of Pisces season. Then we're going to see Mercury entering Pisces February 22nd or 23rd, depending on your time zone, followed by the Virgo full moon coming up on Saturday, February 24th. And we'll talk more about that next week. But allow this transition into Pisces season to offer you stillness of some kind, whether that is physical stillness or mental stillness, something that brings your energy into balance and to reconnect with your own beingness. Simply being, simply allowing and trusting that the flow of life naturally supports you. It's naturally here to offer you respite and a safe place to relax as needed. And this might be something you have to actively seek out. If you have a very busy life, if there's a lot of chaos or people around, there could be something here where you're just realizing, I need more downtime. I need quiet time to myself. Even if it's going into the master bedroom and closing the door for 1 hour, this could be a great thing to practice at this time, because it's when we're in the stillness and the beingness that we hear more of our own soul's wisdom. We hear more of what we wouldn't catch as we're flying through our days or going about our lives. So Pisces season offers us a softer influence of energy, and we will keep talking about this next Wednesday as we continue on through Pisces season. Now, I also had an episode for you on Monday that was about the Venus-Mars conjunction in Aquarius. So please listen to that, as that energy does begin over this next week as well. It starts to come in stronger after Venus is conjunct Pluto, like we just discussed, and is beginning a new synodic cycle here between Venus and Mars in your astrology chart at 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees of Aquarius. This week is also a good time to check in on where the transiting nodes of fate are working with you as they move backwards through Aries and Libra in your chart, with the North Node in Aries for the first time in 19 years and the South Node in Libra also for the first time in 19 years. These are energies that are helping you reposition where you're going next, how you're growing into your full potential. You're beginning a new chapter. Perhaps something is calling to you. It has your name on it, and that energy might be very strong because, as I mentioned and we discussed, Chiron conjunct the North Node is unlocking something that is the key to a new opening, the key that is opening a lock that takes you into a new chapter, a new book, a new adventure in your life and in your world. And I have a course for you on the nodes of fate. I'll put the information below the podcast. This is a course where you bring your natal chart with you, and I guide you through what is happening, the key dates, what is unfolding, what to be aware of through the Aries and Libra themes, which is especially important if you have planets or points in Aries and Libra. So do check that out so that you can be aware of what you're ready for next and what has your name on it. You can find all of my current offerings and courses at mollymccord.online. You'll find a ton of astrology courses from beginner to more advanced level, and I hope there is something there that supports what you're ready to learn more about in your own energy in this lifetime. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you a beautiful transition as Venus moves across Pluto and the Sun enters Pisces. And these powerful energies of 2024 continue on. I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday with a new podcast episode. Wishing you the very best, and I'll see you back here soon.